Hey guys, and welcome to today's First Impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we're looking at The Last Days of Lazarus, which is your typical sort of horror puzzle game experience. Full disclosure, I am not a huge fan of puzzle games, and I'm definitely not a huge fan of horror games. They tend to bore and frustrate me rather than scare and excite me. I'm no good at puzzles, and as a result, for me personally, it takes too long to get through the puzzles to really enjoy the suspense and the horror that the game is trying to portray. That being said, though, I can appreciate good mechanics, bad mechanics, and I can at least tell you whether the game would be worth your time if you are a horror game fan. As always, we'll look through the options first, and then we'll jump straight into the gameplay. But as a note, this game has crashed on me at least once already when I alt-tabbed out of the game. That's a problem. Hopefully it doesn't do it anymore during this video, but just bear in mind that it has done it at least once with my experiences. Let's jump straight into it. Alright, options. I'm not going to lie, they're a little bit disappointing. First of all, if we look into gameplay, you can only turn the head bobbing down to 25%. You can't turn it all the way off, and honestly, it makes the movement feel really weird. It feels like it needs the head bobbing on for it to work properly, and as a result, you get this really jarring effect that feels not smooth. It feels very janky and a bit nauseating, honestly. Allow it to be switched off completely, or if head bobbing is that much of a key fundamental to your game, don't allow people to turn it off at all, but then you're allowing people to feel very ill, probably from head bobbing. You've got camera speed and field of view, invert camera and cinematic bars and color fringing. The color fringing is actually really good in this. I will give it props for that. Audio. Very happy to say that voice is set to 100%, music and sound is turned down to 80%. It's a good mix. Subtitles on or off. Not really much else to say about this. The music and the sound in this game does a really good job of setting the tone. Your display, you have borderless full screen, resolution and vertical sync here, which is always nice to see. And then your graphics. This is where it kind of gets let down a bit. There's not many options here. The game does seem to run fairly smooth. Like I say, I had it crash once already, and everything was on epic when I started. So it's a good options menu, but it could be better, honestly. And then your brightness here and vibrations on or off if you use controller. I am using mouse and keyboard, so obviously vibrations don't really affect me that much. There you have it. There's the options. Let's see what the game's like. Alright, we're in the game. Now, I will say that loading takes a little bit long for my liking. It takes a while to load in, but then the game is eerily pretty. The shadows, the reflections, everything looks really pristine and very nice. The aim of the game is obviously to work your way through this mystery. The story is a bit weird, but then it's a horror. I wouldn't really expect anything else. You play as Lazarus. He gets a phone call a few months ago saying that his mother has committed suicide and his sister wants him to come home straight away. He has a job that for some reason he can't get away from, and then he comes back at Christmas. And like most horror games of this style, you basically have to look at and investigate everything to try and work your way through. When you start, you are led into a hallway with only access to one room. And it's already changed, so that wasn't there before. That's interesting, that's new, that's developed as things go, and basically you have to look at everything. You can investigate all sorts of manner of things. It just disappeared. That's interesting. The world is shaking. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why this is doing this. But yeah, so you basically walk through, you can investigate everything, and you will have to get a certain amount of clues in order to progress the story. For example, the first one I had to do, spoilers imminent, you had to get a bulb in order to get the case open so you could get what you needed out of the case so you could continue. I will say the voice acting is pretty good in this. It's done in such a way that everybody is very softly spoken. It sets, again, the tone very well. gives you that really uneasy feeling of something's happening, but we don't know what. You've got all this religious symbolism because apparently the family shock horror is incredibly religious. And yeah, you basically just walk through, try and figure out what's going on. Certain doors will be locked that you'll have to unlock later. And you just work through the story and try and figure out what's going on. The world is very pretty, I will say that. I am not very good at puzzles as a result. This game would take me far too long to try and figure out, and I would get rather bored rather quickly. However, if you like horrors, if you like this sort of thing, if you like these sort of games where you get to really explore everything and see what's going on, and try and figure out what the story is, then I think that you would enjoy it. It's not a terrible game, and it's certainly one of the better, more accessible horrors that I've played, in that it's not taken me too long to get this far. If they sort out the movement, which to me is a bit weird and it feels a bit jarring, and if they sort out some of the options and maybe give us a few more options, then this would be a really, really good game. So there you have it, guys. Last Days of Lazarus. Let me know in those comments down below what you think. Let me know if this is the sort of game for you. And I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.